Okay, we got a icebreaker this week. Unlike other weeks.
We have an icebreaker every week.
I don't like how he's standing. Why is he standing?
Because I don't like to sit. I've been sitting for the last 2 hours with Stan Brick at Boston Chicken Coop.
I don't like how we don't have a...
How you're not looking into a screen? We're recording with Labs this week for everybody that's listening. And it's throwing Jay way off his game.
Stella is throwing me way off.
All right, this week's icebreaker brought to you by GlitchCat7. Mason Kramer, of course. Twitch.tv/GlitchCat7. Guys, I'm going to play another game. Yes. A Macaloo game to start off this week. Who wants to... Okay, Jay's the first selection.
Jay's put his hand up.
Jay, I want you to pick a band. Any band. Go ahead.
Metallica.
Glenn, you have to come up with the ultimate tribute band name based on the band Jay picked.
The ultimate tribute band name.
From Metallica.
So if you were a tribute band, like a Metallica tribute band, what would be like... You know what? What would be the worst band name that you can pick as a tribute band for Metallica?
Ain't My Bitch.
Ain't My Bitch playing Tuesday night.
Either that or 2x4.
Oh, I like it. Why don't you just be Load?
I can't hear you. Talk to 2x4.
Load.
What?
That's the tribute band.
I've always been, I don't like Enter Sandman. I think that...
But Sandman is a big actual tribute band.
They are a bit, not Enter Sandman. I said Enter Sandman.
Yes, Sandman, a local tribute band, infamous for being sued by Metallica or...
Erroneously.
Yes.
All right, Glenn, you're up.
Conversation.
Glenn, you're up. Pick a band.
I'm afraid I'm going to pick something too obscure for Jay now.
Go back to the 16-bit era.
Faith No More.
Now, what's the worst tribute band name you can think of for a Faith No More tribute band?
Naked in front of a computer.
That's kind of clever. I think I'd go see a band called Naked in front of a computer.
I think their first song off Album of the Year, I think. Listen to how I slurred Album of the Year.
It was even better the second time.
Naked in front of a computer. What would you do? You're a Faith No More guy. What?
Jizzlobber.
That's a good one. Rob, you're a Faith No More guy. What do you think?
I'd call them Mr. Bungle.
Oh.
Zing!
I'd hate to be in Mr. Bungle right now.
Oh!
Wait, Mike Patton's in Mr. Bungle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a... Yeah.
That's the joke.
Who gives you one?
Now, yeah. Okay, so Rob.
Why don't you rock, paper, scissors, who gives me the band? Go ahead.
2 out of 3?
All right, 2 out of 3. Ready?
Damn
okay.
right.
Are we doing 3? Sorry, are we doing on 3 or on
1,
shoot?
2, 3,
you
shoot.
go 1, 2, 3,
shoot.
die.
Okay, here we go.
You
ready?
went early then.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
ready?
So
yeah, you did go early.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Right. What is this? What is his bottom hand?
Just
to catch his fist.
Yeah.
He can't stop it.
He's gonna have an extra like. He's gonna
can't
transform or something.
No, he's got to.
Okay, one hand. Give me the one hand.
All right.
Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3,
shoot.
I think I win by default.
All right, go ahead. Give it to him.
Give me the band.
Give it to him.
Green Day.
The worst Green Day tribute band would be
Warning.
At the Library.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty boring band to go see. Yeah.
Do they still play I Was There? That's still one of my favorite Green Day songs.
But the part that you like about it, they play Nice Guys Finish Last, the same riff. Nice Guys Finish Last, ping, ping, ping.
No, that's the drums. I like that.
That's your favorite part.
No, I like the melody.
This Friday at the library.
Plays with.
Doesn't play
With
library.
Opening for 2x4. Opening for Naked in Front of the Computer.
So speaking of music, when are you playing next? When are the Spoonmen playing next?
We play next weekend? Yeah, next weekend.
It's always the weekend I'm not here.
And Chris...
We haven't mentioned that I am here live.
Chris Shirk, our second guitar player, is returning for one night to do
Chris Shirk?
Chris Shirk.
Shirk.
Wasn't he here like 4 weeks ago?
No.
5 weeks ago?
That was our original guitar player.
And you know what? You guys have too many member changes. I can't keep a track.
It's true. We're like Fleetwood Mac.
The Fleetwood Mac of cover bands and poachers.
With less screwing and less drama, slightly.
I like screwing.
Less women.
They're like the Eagles, but you never reunited fully.
Please don't compare me to the Eagles ever.
Oh, wow. Not a Henley fan, eh?
Oh.
You don't like Boys of Summer?
Eagles. Well,
that's
not
Henley.
Eagles. That's Henley.
Yeah, that's true.
What's another? Eagles.
Hey,
think, Bartlett. Think.
Take
Hotel
it
California.
easy. Take it easy.
Oh,
Take it easy.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see that too.
Take it
Clever Macaloo.
easy. It's surely gonna be an exciting episode of live in person Macaloo enthralled GamerCast.
Yeah, I want to say Rob is here in my living room in my Star Wars Mecca. We are here live, and I have no mic in front of me.
You have no apparatus.
I feel like
Yes.
lost. We have professional lavs, which clip to your shirt, and you sound better, and all that stuff. So we're live from my house, and
Live from his house.
I'm taking over this.
Tape
guest.
delayed a week later.
got-
That's a pretty bad tribute band name too, for the record.
Live from my house. Welcome to another GamerCast. Here we are, live in Jay's living room.
No mic.
Yeah, no, I gotta lean in.
That's what,
That's
what I was doing.
I'm leaning in for effect. And we never really talked about this. I think we foreshadowed it early March. We can officially call this our 2-year anniversary show.
We can. We're actually
April 3rd was the
We're
first
like
show.
12 days late.
Ish, but there was a few episodes that were GamerCast, but not GamerCast.
Yes.
So depending on what your Wikipedia sources say, which are always trustworthy, we have a zebra dog present.
My dog loves Kiss, and he loves Animalize, especially the record Animalize. So anyway,
There you go. So he's,
We were at the beer store before we came over here, and Kiss was playing on the radio. And it took
Nice.
Rob like 4 tries to actually guess which
like
Kiss song it was.
Cold Gen, Strutter.
Wait a minute. What?
I couldn't because there was lots of beer happening.
Even I
Oh, it was
knew.
in the beer store.
Even I
Yes.
knew it wasn't Strutter.
Okay, so what song was
it
it?
was Black Diamond.
Black Diamond was playing in the beer
The one
store?
named after cheese.
No, the one named after the Black Diamond song.
Ooh, son.
Jay, we established something earlier today while we were shooting.
Oh, you guys always have great things going on out there. Get the hell out of here.
So can you guess how many episodes of GamerCast we have done?
no.
Because we did a bit of filming, a little pre-filming for 4 days in Vegas, the upcoming adventure that sees us trek to the desert, of course.
And not come back.
The shovels are packed. Border Control might have an issue with that. But we did discover how much data we have used recording GamerCast and how many episodes we have. How many episodes do you think we've done? Like I said, it's almost our 2-year anniversary.
So
Including the ones that you two did without me.
And the one that you guys did without me.
I thought we did one without each of you. I thought it was only
No, we
Each guy
You did
missed
at
one.
least 2 without me.
Yeah, when we talked about the game during Kickstarter in 2014. Or was it 2015? I don't know.
Okay,
Beginning
so,
of 2015.
okay, so you want me to guess how many episodes we have?
How many episodes we've done?
How many episodes?
I'm
Not,
not-
not including this one.
I'm obviously not
Guess.
the custodian of this information, so I'm just
You're
gonna.
not a keeper of the audio?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep her the secrets. I'm gonna guess 67,
Higher.
75.
Higher.
What?
We've done 85 episodes.
I thought we had done 86 and this was 87.
I think this is 86.
We don't know. We looked at it earlier, but
No, it's like 85-ish.
86?
Yeah.
yeah, we've done 80. And think about that, right? So that's 86 hours of content. But for everybody that's on Patreon, that's an extra like 20 hours because
Yeah.
they've got like 20 minutes extra per thing. And that's like a quarter
Wow.
of 80.
Can you guess how much space that takes up on my portable hard drive?
And you have a backup of that, right? In case that hard drive fails, I hope.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have a hard drive with me, Stan Brigg. Chicken Salad Stanwich. I'm going to get maybe a copy of those files.
I don't know a lot about computers, so I'm gonna guess and
In gigabytes.
You guys can make fun of me.
In gigabytes.
8 gigs.
50.
50 gigabytes.
I was a little off.
50
I was a little.
So we
low.
have 2 like Blu-rays or 1 dual layer Blu-ray worth of content.
I don't like it when you guys get together.
What?
I don't. When you guys get together and you know,
We have our little secret meetings.
you go to Boston Wings,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Pizza,
Boston Chicken Coop.
whatever.
They meat farm.
That was the first time this trip you've seen him, right?
Yeah. Oh well, no,
No.
he was over at Tiny Titan.
Oh no, actually, you know what we did was we called you the other night, and when we say we, I mean me, and I'm like, why don't you come over and be a part of the family and with the friends that you love so much? You're like, no, actually, I'm good. Remember saying that?
I'll see you.
He's like, I'll see you. hung up the phone on me.
Me,
On me!
the star of GamerCast.
Just like Glenn pushed you into the cab when he offered you a ride home.
I don't need your dirty ride.
dirty ride.
I needed the ride.
No, Glenn and I got to see each other. We did some filming at Tiny Titan Studio. Got to see some progress on Dash Quest. And
As well as their new title.
yeah, are you allowed to say what that new title is?
I don't think Jeff's super secretive about it, but I'm gonna.
You did post some video of it on Facebook,
That's true. He didn't post it to our page. He just posted it on his account.
which was shared
Yeah.
by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Eh,
We might have another game coming.
might be called Tap Smiths.
It might be.
Hey Smiths, want Tap Smiths? Tap Smiths. Tap Smiths.
Jeff and I talked a while ago. He was, oh yeah, I don't know what I can say, but he was doing a game, and I said, "Can I be a voice on the game?" He was like, "Yeah, totally, dude." So I'm still waiting for that opportunity.
We're still waiting for the opportunity to have voice in a game.
Oh, you guys are you?
We don't have voices in any of our games.
The hell out of here.
Of course, we do have a lot of what do you call it? Homework, laundry list,
Housekeeping?
housekeeping.
There you go.
Yeah, that one.
Laundry work.
Yeah, we got laundry work to do. We got 3 loads. We've, of course, got the Twitch screening of Nintendo Quest, again with Mason Kramer, GlitchCat7, twitch.tv/GlitchCat7 on Sunday, April 24th, 12/2 and 4 p.m.
I want to ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
So how is that going to work? Are you going to be chatting with people throughout the movie, or is it going to be like you watch the movie and then you do like Q&A afterwards? Or
It's kind of like a director's commentary, but live with Jay and I. So the film will be playing, and Jay and I will kind of be watching it via the stream, talking about it and responding to the chat window that's going on as well. We believe there'll be mods, and in between the screenings, there's at least about a half hour in between. There may be some giveaways. There may be giveaways throughout. There's giveaways. I'm just gonna, there are giveaways. There are definitely giveaways, so you guys want to check that out. Twitch.tv/GlitchCat7, Sunday, April 24th. That'll be cool. We did just talk about Tiny Titan Studios, new game on the horizon. You guys are still pushing the daily dungeons through Dash Quest.
just added the daily dungeon, and we're really excited about that. I actually I updated one the other night when we were recording, so Jay got to see me kind of playing around with the server tools we have for that. And yeah, we're just trying to give people cool reasons to come back to the game every day and check out what's there and be surprised every time they log into the game. And we're excited for people to play it, and we hope they're going to dig it.
Galaxy Far, Far Away continues to head light years to the outer rim of topics and discussions. You guys are talking about Rogue One?
A little bit. You're going to be on the show where we talk about the trailer and break it down. However, the big news is Josh Schmidt, my partner in crime.
Did you see what JJ said, by the way,
About what?
about Ray's parents?
No, I stay away from that stuff. I'm good.
That Ray's parents are not in Episode 7.
Oh, nice.
Didn't-
I like that.
Didn't Daisy Ridley do an interview too where she said it's funny that people are so hung up on it and it's really not significant?
Well, because lineage is always such a big thing in Star Wars.
But it's not because Anakin had a mom and
But
no
Anakin,
father.
Luke, and then
Yeah.
now with Han and Leia and Kilo Maul, there's clearly a whole bunch of like your grandfather's lightsaber is your father's bong. Like everything is kind of connected.
Is your father's bong?
Maybe you got to pass the dark side of the smoke.
So I just want to say that this is huge because Josh did a tweet and tagged Mark Hamill in it.
Oh,
And Mark liked it.
what did Josh say that was so witty to get Hamill himself?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it is offhand.
Almost as exciting as the time I was followed by Tazon Day.
But I gotta say, I've been talking to Mark one way for a while now since I've been on Twitter and he hasn't responded.
Isn't that the great thing about Twitter? You can have a huge one-way conversation for a long time.
Yeah, and he liked Josh's stuff, man. So you know what? That's great. So cheers to Josh.
And Rocket Queen, which is your GNR tribute band.
Yeah.
First of all, I gotta say, man, I don't think we commented on the teaser that you guys
Oh,
put
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. You know, Glenn, you took part in that shoot as well.
I
I had nothing to do with the shoot. This is all Jay's producing and directing, getting it underway and getting it out there using his Nintendo Quest learned skills to make some cool things
I'm
happen.
using my. I watched Rob do a bunch of cool stuff.
no,
So
I have nothing to do
I
with
tried to
this.
replicate it.
I have
is what
nothing to do with this. You know how to promote stuff, and that's exactly what you guys did, and you came away with a really cool promo piece.
Yeah, and
And you guys got some shows coming up, yeah?
we have some shows, and
So maybe next week we can announce at least some dates.
We do. Just as I looked at the calendar, I remember Jeremy saying, "Don't announce anything yet." So
I know of at least 5 shows.
There's at least 6 gigs.
6.
And
There's at least one that's on Facebook already.
I will say one. Yeah, we're open. No, whoa.
Whoa.
Cut that out.
No, I like the tease. You got to leave that in there.
I will say there is one that Bob Noxious is opening for us. So I was like, what? That's pretty freaking cool. That's in Cambridge.
Cool. Which is weird. You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of Kiss. They opened for Blue Oyster Cult, and a year later, Blue Oyster Cult opened for them. So, like 3 weeks ago, Astoria, the band where you and Joe and some other guys create like your original music, opened for Bob Noxious.
For
3 weeks later.
Yeah.
For any of our American listeners or anybody who's outside of Canada who might not be familiar with Bob Noxious, they're a Canadian punk band based in London, and they have a pretty significant following here. They get a lot of airplay in the area. So to have them be opening in that sort of a reversal of
That's
a
pretty
bill
cool.
that we saw a couple of months ago is actually a pretty big deal.
And to that, I say we raise our glasses and say, cheers, f***ers!
Yeah, I got to cut that out.
But that's okay. You can bleep that. You can bleep that.
So anyway, the dates are coming soon. It's nothing we can announce, but guys,
this seems like the most dangerous summer of all time.
it does. Yeah, we're going to Vegas. We're going to GNR. But I mean, I gotta say, GNR tickets are very expensive, and if you can't afford it, come see us because Ryan and Jeremy, who play Axel and Slash, are so good.
I don't want to dwell on this too much because we got to get to the show at some point, but a little bit of history, okay?
Let's talk about Ryan a bit. Yeah.
Ryan was in a GNR Rage Against the Machine cover band called Rage and Guns that Jay and I would see, and I would say the second evolution of my college career. So the first 2 years, Jay and I would go to, all 4 years, it was the same bar, GTs, pretty much Friday, Saturday night. And the first 2 years were pretty much the Penske File. That was the big cover band that would play, and we would just love it, right? Like they'd play everything from STP to Oasis, like you name it, I'm Mother Earth, which is another Canadian band. Again, reuniting, which is really cool. I got to see if I can get tickets for that. That'll be cool. But then, like after the Penske File kind of hung up the patch cords, so to speak, Raging Guns started to play, and the one thing that Jay and I always noticed is when they did like the GNR stuff, Ryan, who we eventually became friends with and shared some beers and shots and all that, and took up front stage to block all the girls from enjoying the music with the boys, to Ryan's chagrin. He didn't like the big loud guy up front singing along with him. That was me.
Yeah.
But we became friends with him, and it's like, man, that guy really sounds like Axl, which is pretty rare.
He sounds like Axl almost to a T. It's just,
even when he's
crazy.
in his talking voice, like interview style.
Oh yeah, when he talks, he sounds like him. And so Rob and I would go to this bar, every Friday or Saturday or whenever they played, and just specifically for Ryan. I don't mean to sound like a huge fanboy, but Rye, I am. You know I am, man. And I'm very proud to have you in our band now. And
but
I think
full
it's gonna kick
circle,
ass.
full circle for us.
Yeah.
When Nintendo Quest launched, we did like a launch party at, what was the club's name? On Richmond Street?
It's not there anymore. It's insignificant. They didn't promote anything, so screw those guys.
Anyways, and we put together kind of like the people we knew. So I played bass, you were on drums, of course.
Yeah.
Joe was on guitar, and Ryan
sang.
So we got to play a set with Ryan at the time, who just said, yeah, I'll come out and help support you guys. I think it's cool. And
that was the show the Spoonmen opened, I believe.
Yeah.
Because we had another gig down the road afterwards.
Yeah,
and I couldn't
that's
stick
right.
around.
That seems to be the story of the tape at Nintendo Quest events. You come, and then you have to leave because it's like the rough cut screening.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
At least that's the excuse. I'm getting the hell out of here.
My experience with Ryan, obviously, I got a chance to jam with you guys for the video shoot, but prior to that, I'd met Ryan through Astoria. I was playing bass in Jay's band Astoria for a little while, and for a while there, we were kind of kicking the tires on getting a singer, and Ryan came out to audition for us, and it was cool. It's just that, like, I remember we were all kind of like, Ryan, that's really great, but could you sound less like Axl?
Yeah.
And it was like, it was cool, but it just wasn't the right fit for what we were doing. But I mean, he's the genuine article, man. Like he can pull it off.
He can do Vince Neil from Motley Crue.
Yeah, we played Looks That Killed.
He
played
could do
Kiss,
Brian Johnson from AC/DC. perfectly. He could do obviously
Any of the
Axl Rose.
like the high range like
But not only the
singing.
it's not just the screech. He sounds like him.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. So
And Jeremy, who's your lead guitar player,
my god, he's brilliant.
is like, aside from being just an awesome guy, like we hit it off really well in the short time that I was jamming with you guys. But
He liked your Schwarzenegger impressions.
everybody does. He's he's
out.
he's a hell of a nice guy, but he's also a really talented guitar player. And I mean, like, if you want somebody who's dedicated to their craft, he plays those solos like note for note.
He plays the solos exactly like the record. Like I don't even have to count. I just listen to him play the solos.
And just he knows all the little live teases and the little medleys they do, and just
that's what I like when I see, like, I don't want to say cover bands like it's a lesser form of the act. When I see people that, sure, there's the album version, but then they want to take it to the next step, and they've seen like the way the band does it live, and they throw those little licks in, or those little, like, you know, things that they would say only in a live setting.
Yeah.
That kind of makes it kind of special. It's like, yeah, no, they've actually gone above and beyond and done more than their homework. There's some extra credit.
There's definitely a difference between that and what we do in my band. Like Spoonmen, we play covers and we play other people's songs, but we're very upfront about this.
But you make them your own too.
Exactly. This is our interpretation on these
Yeah.
songs. We have our own little medleys and stuff that we do where we mash songs together.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a difference when you see somebody who dedicates themselves to recreating those songs as specifically as possible, and it's really, really impressive.
And you even sometimes let morons from the crowd come up and steal your guitar and drums,
Well,
so
my-
you guys can have a drink break.
My drummer's not so discerning sometimes.
Yeah.
You guys took a break, and Rob and I took your stage, and we played Skid Row.
You did.
And I gotta say, it was freaking awesome. It was great.
Wasn't so bad. Wasn't so bad. By this time, too, we're 2 or 3 days into Box Art's campaign. This is the future for us, so I have no idea how it's going. You guys have both seen the trailer. Do you guys want to comment on that at all?
I think it came together.
Unbiasedly, Stan Buck.
I think it came together really well, and it's cool. You might recognize the voice
And the
in
face.
the trailer.
Not the face, but
Not
maybe
the
the
face,
but
maybe
maybe
the
the voice.
And it was cool, and it's interesting to have recorded that and then see how you've chosen to use it and how it fits with, you know, the visual aspect of things too. What I find, anyway.
No,
I'm
what were you going to say?
I'm done.
What you find interesting.
I just realized I was gonna get myself in trouble by telling you.
What?
Nothing.
What?
No, it's awkward.
Tell me.
Was it me? Am I fat?
No,
Am I Chris Pratt?
no,
What?
no,
Tell me.
no,
What?
no.
Say it.
I'll get yelled at.
You're gonna
How is that different than
You're
other-
probably gonna get yelled at anyway, Glenn.
You're going to get
One
yelled
of
at for not
those
saying.
Okay, so you know how you told me that trailer was for my eyes only?
two.
Who else did you show?
Somebody might have seen it.
Who?
The woman,
A woman who might live in my house.
the girl I've heard so much about.
And what did she say?
What I found was interesting is when you pitched me on how your direction for the voiceover, you were like kind of going for like an Alan Cross ongoing history and new music thing. And she saw it and she turned to me and she's like, "You kind of have like an Alan Cross thing going on there." It's like,
So that's okay.
it's like perfect.
So we achieved what I was looking for.
Yes, that's so it's a good thing. you
So
know.
I first of all, I can't really yell at you post-release.
Oh yeah,
Especially for a nice comment like that.
she saw it
Now, Stanbuck, going
clearly
forward.
Tuesday morning when it went live.
Yeah. The curtain of secrecy. We got to lock that down with more than a velvet rope. I know you don't necessarily have your own little secure space there, but you know, next time.
Stop pricking yourself off, is what he's saying.
What?
Ridge.
And Jay, I know you're excited about it. You saw a CDI Zelda game in there, of course, a little nod to our ongoing discussions about its being official canon, some your favorite Japanese and Famicom stuff, and
Yes.
I know you're pumped for some of the participants. that are
What
on
did
board.
you think about the voiceover, Jay?
I thought it was absolutely. Okay,
You don't have to kiss my ass.
don't I?
I'm just saying. Don't I?
I always said you had the best radio voice I ever heard, and this confirms it.
Oh, it's very nice of you to say.
Actually, you're almost as good as the trailer dude who's no longer with us. I don't know his name. Who's the trailer guy? That suddenly.
So Don LaFontaine.
If you will.
Yeah.
in a world.
I always said you should be doing radio. I always said it, man.
It was cool. No, it was cool to get an opportunity to do that. I was definitely excited to, and it was a fun experience.
And we hope everybody takes a chance to take a look at the trailer, of course, on Kickstarter. Take a look at the rewards. We have some development art that's pretty crazy to see, and it could be yours. Of course, you can appear in the film. You can get custom boxes. It could be, if we hit our stretch goals, it could be a 5-disc set.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah. Well, we're covering every era of gaming. You know, how can
Both
you...
PC and console releases.
International and domestic.
And variations.
So.
Golly.
It's going to be pretty cool. It's a look behind the canvas.
Yeah.
If you will.
Finally, it's time to see the full picture.
What is that?
Now we're just quoting the trailer at this point. Okay, that does it for the laundry list. Hope everybody got their loads done. I have another letter.
It's going to be the longest episode.
That's what happens when we're a person, right? Everybody gets
That's what I was war person.
You guys want to hear the letter from Ian?
Drop it.
No?
Yes.
Jay, you don't seem excited this week.
Let's hear it.
All right. Good evening, agents of love. I decided to bestow a second letter for you in as many weeks instead of leaving a traditional grace period. You can thank me later. You thankfully, though, I hope, punish Macalu for constantly misquoting me when he should just copy and paste my emails. At the very least, take a reading class and not paraphrase. Star Fox is a great franchise, and I'm looking forward to the next installment, regardless of critical comments in your show or in the media. This is a Nintendo franchise, and as Jay has mentioned time and again, we do not receive many releases nowadays, so let's get on board and find the food instead of expecting the world. I think find the good. I think it was another typo. No game is perfect, but let's not judge anything before release. You know, I'm over here. Thought so. Anyways, this 4-day vacation to Vegas with you filming sounds fun, and I look forward to you three pining about the absence of yours truly. I expect a release on PAL VHS with alternate cover work. Before I forget, allow me to correct Rob's miserable ramblings. I don't begrudge cover bands or tribute bands. I love that you're all artists. Peace, love, and gaming. Yeah, sounds good. That's what I thought. Oh yeah, me. Game on, boyos. Until next time, and I hope there is never a week without the blessed release of GamerCast. Your leader in chaos, Marco.
That's the best sign-off I think I've ever heard.
Your leader
in chaos. That can I just say that his comments about cover bands there are completely contrary to things I've actually heard come out of his mouth while he was here in person.
Yes, you can comment on that.
That was my comment on it, pretty much.
Okay, fair enough.
I miss you, buddy. I've been drinking a lot during this episode, but you're gonna bring a tear to my eye.
I do too, man. And what's great is like Ian's been doing a lot of Metroid related art recently, which you guys have probably seen
on MPU, Nintendo Players Unite.
And he's constantly firing that stuff to me in private.
I don't know why.
It's just like he likes to have me have. It's like I'm his
barometer
for whether or not it's cool.
The stand barometer.
And I actually gave him
the buck meter.
He was like showing me some of the early ones, and I'm like, you know, it would be really cool to do like a Grindhouse style Metroid poster. And he's like, that is a freaking great idea, and that's exactly what he did. But yeah, it's cool to be thought of frequently and fondly like Ian does. So that's yeah, we miss you, dude.
Buddy, we are right here, my friend, at the same table in the same room, and yeah, we definitely wish you were here. So
yeah, you need to come back and see us because God knows we're not going to see you.
That sounds like a lot of effort. You know what the great thing about wearing lavs is? You can walk around from the table and you guys can still hear me.
That's true.
What are we talking about this week, Glenn?
Well, Rob and I got together and did some filming this afternoon, as we mentioned, and we were brainstorming topics. And we were talking about how hard it can be to try and make decisions between a couple of games and how we can feel like we're pulled in different directions. And Rob used the phrase tug of war, and I'm like, that's brilliant. Let's talk about the gaming tug of war.
Sounds like my college love life.
Let's talk about games competing for our affections and companies competing for our affections and the things that different publishers and different developers do to try and pull us back in after we've been led astray or
even had a break from a release.
Sure. And the part
Now,
that came up.
I should say we did some filming and brainstorming, but I have no idea what's in your outline.
This is true.
And I've made many efforts with alcoholic beverages to forget what your outline is about and the topic.
What sort of spurred this idea was Polygon had an opinion piece up about the recent Destiny April update. Bungie just released an update for Destiny that adds a new story chain and a new strike and some new...
I heard it was the Prison of Elders rehashed.
And it's like modifications to the Prison of Elders as well.
Or rehashed.
And this article is kind of like, okay, well, is this enough? Is this enough to actually pull people back into this game after this absence and after not having new content for so long? And that led us to think, okay, well, what is enough? Like, what is a good update? What is a bad update? What's enough to pull me back in after I've been gone for a while?
Let's start with that. Why do games need to be updated to add content? Why can't a gaming experience just be the 2 to 3 hours or 10 hours and not need to have additions?
Well, when we're talking about retro games, that's exactly the case as well, right? Like, I mean, what you see is what you get. The game is the game.
Yes, it is pretty much finite. It's shipped as it is. That's it, son.
What?
So that's a good question, right? So why is it okay that you can play, I don't know, Zelda: A Link to the Past, and it's a finite experience. It has a beginning and an end. There's only so much content. You can play that over and over and over and over again, and yet now we look at a game like, say, Destiny, and there's the expectation there that we need to have this drip feed of content coming to it all the time.
It's almost like there's an expectation that every release has to have DLC, season pass, expansion, microtransactions, or something else. I mean, we saw it for the first time with Nintendo and Mario Kart now.
But if you're talking about specifically Destiny, an MMO style game lives off of that. So if you don't
but what is the culture that breeds the fact that a game doesn't end now, that there's no end point, that this lives forever? Why do we enter an era where a publisher and a developer have to constantly tug on you to keep you like, here's another release.
I don't think they do, because Call of Duty lasts a year, Assassin's Creed lasts a year, but like something like Destiny is supposed to last forever.
But why are we in an era where gaming has to last forever when retro-wise, traditionally, games ended?
I don't necessarily agree with you that Destiny is the best example for that, because it's a game that never really ends.
Let me give you another example.
Sure.
So I spent a lot of the last couple of months playing Witcher 3, as you guys are aware. That's a game that was released, last spring?
Yeah, and honestly, the only thing I know about Witcher 3 is that it has a lot of DLC.
There's a ton of DLC for it. So there's tons of free DLC for Witcher 3. There's like new character costumes and new contracts, and they added a new game plus mode via DLC, which is free, which is actually pretty awesome. But they've also done a couple of big DLC packs. I forget what the first one was called, but the new one coming out is called Blood and Wine, and that's not out quite yet. I think it's coming out late spring or early summer. But we're talking about a game that came out a year ago already, and they're still working on the DLC release cycle. And this is a game that's gigantic. This is a game that's really, really long.
But it's also a game that was finite.
Exactly, and it had a beginning and an end, and it was a finite experience.
So why expand something that has an ending?
I mean, they just want you to keep playing their game, put dollars into their accounts, right?
Okay, so obviously they want to do it because the money they can make is profitable to the hours that they put into it. Yeah. It's going to cost them $10,000, but they're going to make $20,000. You're going to take advantage of that deal every day.
Yeah.
But why do you think? And again, I haven't seen his outline, but I think it's interesting that we live in a world now, and this is the same with Galaxy Heroes, right? Galaxy Heroes, the smartphone game, has us log in every day if we want to keep progressing. There's only so much we can do every day.
Yeah.
Right? Why are games getting to the point, do you think, that we have to constantly be tethered to them?
I think Jay really hit it, which is it's become obvious to developers that it is more profitable for them to, instead of focus on doing that big release once a year or once every 2 years and once every 3 years, do that drip feed of content.
So let me ask you this then. How come we haven't seen that with a Mario title? The biggest franchise possibly in gaming doesn't do that.
Well, in a sense, we have, because they've been doing that with Super Mario Maker, right? They've been steadily releasing new content.
But it doesn't cost you anything for any of the Mario Maker stuff. And sure, there's some new items and there's new stuff, and yeah, that could pull people back in. But I don't think like an alternate power-up is going to recapture an audience that left, or find a whole bunch of people that didn't like the game before, because all of a sudden, you know, you can add red coins to your levels and people have to collect the red coins.
Here's the thing, though. I think they do expand their audience by releasing that stuff, because that's meant that many more people who are creating new levels that they're posting that are in turn being shared with other people.
Is it expanding?
People are streaming that people are putting on.
But
YouTube.
is it expanding, or is it just taking the existing audience that has stuck with it after the initial 6-month release window and giving them something new to do?
I think it expands it. I
don't. I think if you haven't captured your audience in the first 6 months on a game nowadays, with as many gaming options there are, you're not going to expand that. Now, you could make an argument with something like Smash Brothers when they announce Ryu as a playable fighter 6 months after the release. You might get some Street Fighter fans that didn't play Smash Brothers playing that now, because obviously you have a landmark character. I think a character like Ryu hitting Smash Brothers might expand that franchise, or Link into Mario Kart. But I don't think adding a blooper suit to Mario Maker expands that game. And we still haven't seen like Super Mario 3D World.
If you're comparing something like Mario and Smash Brothers, I don't necessarily think you can compare it to The Witcher. Witcher is a game that you make. What's his name?
Geralt.
Geralt Rivia, or whatever his name is. He becomes you, and you're in this living world. Where Mario is you pick it up, it's quick, it's done. Same with Smash Brothers. Where The Witcher, I don't think you necessarily want to end, because you've invested.
But it has an ending. All right, and now we're saying, like,
right.
We're looking at something like Nintendo, where traditionally it has been a finite experience.
Yeah.
And almost every one of their main franchises now has added DLC. That like Smash Brothers cost. How much was Ryu for Smash Brothers? $6.99.
I think each guy is like $7.
Yeah. For one character, right? But you know, when they released Mario 3D World, there was no like level add-on pack, no extra world to explore. Why wouldn't the most successful game franchise, arguably, opt to use DLC?
They've never been good at it.
Clearly, they're doing all right with Smash, and
I'm
did
not
all right
saying
with
they're
Mario
not doing
Kart.
all right, but they've never been good at it. They've never been good at the online thing. That's a fact.
I think the other tack to take might be, well, maybe it's just a matter of time before we do see that. Maybe the next Mario release introduces that concept. Maybe we start paying.
How do you
for
guys
extra
feel?
worlds.
This is interesting to me from a movie guy point of view, and Star Wars as well. We live in a world now where there's going to be 3 Marvel movies every year as part of the same universe. We live in a world now where there's going to be a Star Wars film every year that continues that story, that's canon. And now we're also seeing video games that constantly release content that's part of that main kernel. What is this obsession, you guys think, with constantly expanding this main idea? Instead of traditionally one and done.
It's keeping that franchise alive. Like if you compare it to something like Star Wars, doesn't every franchise that comes out want to be as successful as Star Wars? There's action figures in the stores right now in Walmart from a film from 1977. That never happens. Ever. Even Star Trek, which is, second, respectively, that never happens, man.
Whoa.
What?
Don't bring Trek into this.
I don't see any Star Trek figures anywhere. There's
you will.
constantly been Star Wars figures the whole way. So I'm just saying that everyone's looking at George Lucas and say, yeah, this guy's
here's the deal,
got something going on. I think let's follow that.
Would you say that Mario is probably the biggest gaming franchise of all time? At least top 5.
I think there's an argument to be made for it, yeah.
Sure, it's worth mentioning, right? They've never had DLC.
It's in the conversation, yeah.
So, but they've had Mario 1, 2, and 3.
Pick up and play, where a game like The Witcher is something more story-driven.
Okay, but if it's worked for Mario not to release stuff, why make the argument for Mario to transition to it if it's worked the way it's done? And if Mario can work as a single entry, why can't other games work as single entries? Why do these other games have to add more stuff?
Profit. They want to make more money. Plain and simple. Companies want to make more money.
But couldn't Nintendo release more stuff for Mario and then essentially barter our time away from the other games?
It's like you just said, they don't have to. They don't have to. A title like Mario Maker, you don't have to. It's that good.
So is Nintendo about profits then? If the tug of war is about profits, because we're saying it cost the company 10 grand to make this DLC that they'll profit 20 grand, obviously made up numbers. You know, Glenn, you guys at Tiny Titans, you guys wouldn't continue to do awesome updates like you guys are doing if it wasn't worth the time to do it.
No, I mean,
Keen business sense.
Yeah, that's definitely part of the conversation, right? Is like
Right.
what's going to be worth it from a player perspective and from our perspective to do.
So everybody, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be profitable and wanting money. So why do you think Nintendo chooses not to make downloadable content to keep people in the Marioverse?
See, you're asking me, and I'm a fan.
I love the one and done because I want to move on to the next thing in my backlog.
I'm not. I look at something like Battlefront, and I'm praying they release Episode 7 or prequel content.
Isn't it coming?
They won't. No. It's
Battle of Jakku?
Oh no! You know what the new heroes are for Battlefront? Lando Calrissian and Dengar.
Everybody's favorite bounty hunter?
Everyone's favorite bounty hunter, Dengar.
So that pulled you back in, right? The tug of war. They're tugging you onto their side. They're tugging you off to the side.
I like the constant, like something like Fallout, where they release content quarterly, and it's fantastic. I love it.
So what is the winning formula then for you guys as gamers?
For me, I remember going back to the early days. I played, 97. I'll go back to Final Fantasy 7, and the amount of time I think I clocked in 75 hours for that game. I never did finish it, but I remember loving Cloud and my party and all the characters. And I'm just like, you know what? When this ends, it's really gonna suck. Which is one reason I love WoW so much. Because it doesn't end. You just get to be that character and live that character constantly.
So were you ever sad when Mario ended?
No, it's not the same game. To me, it's not. Mario's a side scroller, and it is what it is. But it's not.
It's a completely different narrative.
It's not as immersive. It's more like a reflex challenge. It's more like eye-hand coordination, where like an RPG, like The Witcher or Final Fantasy VII, you live. You get invested more into it. That's what I think.
Stanwich?
Got a new Rolling Rock on
I don't know. I think Jay's on something there, but it's...
Yeah, let me say, I mean, obviously I'm playing devil's advocate to kind of figure what this is. Because I think this is part of a new era of gaming that really started probably with EverQuest. I think it was the first MMO to hit well.
Yeah.
In 98, 99.
Yeah.
That was like the never-ending game. And then, of course, WoW came in, and there's, Star Wars Galaxies.
I think, I think Jay's on to a point, and I think it's something to do with the nature of the experience, where we've historically seen Mario... We've historically seen Nintendo release Mario games that sort of redefine the Mario experience each time we see one, right? They tend to take chances with that. There's enough of the familiar there with some new stuff mixed in. I would compare it more to something like if you watch a television show or if you watch a movie and you get really attached to a character. Let's take Batman as a good example because they do DLC for all the Arkham games too. So we love playing that story with Batman. We love that character. We love those villains. We love all those ancillary characters. We want to see more of that character, and it's an easy way for them to profit, but also it's an easy way to continue saying, well, here is another small story featuring that character. And I think that's why it's easy to do that with a Batman or a BioShock or Destiny or
So
World
what
of
you're
Warcraft
saying
or what have
is
you.
MMOs and MMO-like games are the soap operas of the video game world.
I don't think that's unfair. Like in the same sense that
Destiny and WoW are all my children, which have been running for 50 years.
like in the sense that you wouldn't expect to get DLC for Pac-Man because,
That's another maze.
there was that cliffhanger about whether or not the ghost got him or something, and you need the next episode to know how to turn
You need another pellet to overcome the ghost.
And I think you see that taken to its extreme with stuff like the Telltale games, where they are built completely around the notion of telling.
Well, that was
story
my next
across-
thing, where that story is delivered in bite-sized form across traditionally 6 episodes or a series of 6.
Yeah, that's something that Remedy actually has been doing with its last couple of games. So
Remedy by Black Crows.
Quantum Break and Alan Wake were both.
Well, even Double
Broken
Fine
Age.
released Broken Age as part 1 and part 2, according to the series. By the way, kudos to you to recommend Double Fine's Adventure, which is the documentary on making Broken Age, which is 20 episodes long, half hour each. Awesome look at the process of the video game industry. Obviously, they're a higher, I don't know if you'd call them AAA, but certainly well-known folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
Just
their
the pedigree is.
I mean, they did
well
all the
respected.
LucasArts stuff, like Monkey Island, Day of Tentacle,
Or at
Brutal
least
Legend.
Tim Schafer did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the people that worked with Tim have those credits, and they aren't shy about sharing them. Jack Black makes an appearance, of course, and some cool stuff. So yeah, check that out. Because I want to mention that because we talked about, I'd love to see more process on video game stuff like Indie Game Movie. Well, Double Fine Adventures out there, buddy. Take a look at that.
I will.
What do you guys feel about the episodic stuff? Like, have you guys played much of the Telltale stuff, for example?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
I love it because I like the short bursts of
Absolutely.
one and done. Here's
Absolutely.
2 hours, take 2 months off after.
I love that I can commit 2 or 3 hours to it, and I've done an episode, and I feel satisfied, and I get to wait and have some anticipation for that next release. And it tells a contained story within 4, 5, 6 episodes, and
But, I'm a big fan of episodic stuff by nature, whether it's TV. And one of the reasons we did the Power Tour the way we did was because I wanted to do something that was episodic. We could have released that as a 2-hour film with the highlights of us going across the summer. All the different towns, all the different screenings, the game hunting again. But I wanted something that was more bite-sized, that showed more of what we were doing. Because with Nintendo Quest, we could only do so much because our distributor, from like day one, when those talks started happening, 90 minutes, like that's it. So when we had the reins off, we got to do what we wanted with the Power Tour. So
And we did what we wanted.
I think it worked out.
So we've been talking at length about the ways that developers play that tug of war with us as players. Let's talk a little bit about the tug of war that we play with ourselves as well. Let's talk about the ways that we tug ourselves.
He stooped to our level.
So Jay,
When you tug,
Don't bring me into this.
tell us about a time when you've had a couple of games that you were trying to play and you really had to decide what
Jay.
to focus on.
tell us when you had a couple of times when you had to choose between tugs.
What? I wanted to choose games?
Yeah, which games did you choose? Okay, so you sat down,
Well,
you wanted
I mean-
to play something. What tugged at you which way?
For now, I will say for now, it's a time thing. So you and I are both playing Galaxy of Heroes, which is easy. But for something like Fallout 4, I really wanted to commit to.
Why don't you have time to commit to it? Like, what do you feel is pulling you away from actually playing that game? You love Fallout so much.
You're a huge fan. You got me into
Yeah.
Fallout 3 with your enthusiasm.
It just the time commitment, really. To be honest, it's like I have to sit down there. It's like 1 to 3 hours minimum.
But that's interesting, man, because
And
Galaxy...
you know what? I got to tell you guys right now that it's sad to me that I'm at a point in my life where that is a lot of time, because I used to spend hours doing all this, and now I can't. I just can't invest the time in it.
Okay, so here we go. Galaxy Heroes. How much time do you spend in that?
A day.
Yeah.
So Galaxy of Heroes, I'd say 20, 25 minutes a day.
And how many days straight have you been playing it?
Every day since we've been playing 3 months. But the interesting
So
thing,
how much time is that?
a lot, but it's on the go. I don't have to.
But
be
it's 20 minutes. It's
I
call
don't
it a
have
half
to be,
hour a
yeah,
day.
but I don't have to be stationary. You can't play Fallout for 20 minutes. You can't. So
Let's
for
talk
me,
about that then.
for me to sit in the chair and load up Fallout and okay, this is where I am. This is what I gotta do. Like Galaxy of Heroes is a completely different game.
So talk about that then. Because you've put more time into Galaxy Heroes than you have probably any other game in the last 2 months.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. I think the game is just. It's like a Star Wars fan's dream come true.
I don't know.
And as much as I love Fallout, I just don't have it in me to sit down there and play another 80-hour RPG.
At 4-hour intervals.
Yeah, minimum.
See, that's the difference. It's the intervals that we're dealing with. Telltale is like a 90-minute to 2-hour interval, maybe.
Yeah, and I think it's different because at the end of that 2 hours or whatever it is, you're going to have basically finished what you've got in front of you, right?
Yeah. there's certainly an end feeling. Or I think Fallout and other JRPGs especially, like I'm going through Tales of X,
Yeah.
you know.
Just for me, I remember like starting Fallout, walking in the wasteland. It's just like
Here we go.
hours just
Oh,
doing whatever, and I can't do that.
And
now.
we talked.
That's not a fault on the game by any means. I want to say that right off the bat.
We've talked about this off and on during my time with Witcher 3, that I had a very similar experience where I frequently felt, this is too much game. Like there's,
Yeah.
I've gotten my fill. It was really awesome. Thank you so much, CD Projekt Red. But this game can end anytime.
So how much is too much then? Game like Galaxy Heroes goes on forever. World of Warcraft, Destiny, these games
But
never end.
you could stop those in a story-driven game like The Witcher or Fallout. You want to
But
see
we
that
talked
to the
about
end,
Warcraft.
Right?
Oh, there's the story in Warcraft.
There's a big story in Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've talked about Destiny too. Part of the appeal being for me for a really long time that I could play it in bite-sized chunks. Like I could commit as much or as little time to Destiny as I wanted. So if I had time to get on and run a strike with a couple of buddies,
Yeah, but you can't.
But you can.
You can't because you have to keep up with the clan. Otherwise, you fall behind. If you're not a certain gear score,
But there's
you
so
can't
many-
do the end
There's so many
raid.
ways to do it, though. There's so many ways to do that.
Disagree.
And I can get online and I can do my bounties and I can call it a day, or I can get online and run a strike with everybody and then go do something.
Yeah, but doing
else.
bounties daily and doing the end game raid are two completely different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but once you get the raid down to a science, like once you've done it enough times, you can be really, really efficient at running.
Of course,
a raid,
when you
right?
have the time to commit to the raid is what I'm saying.
Can you guys think of an instance where you've had a game that you really, really like? You really, really enjoy it. You played a ton of it, and you've come back to it after a really long absence, and it's just not the same for some reason. That your feelings have changed on it.
We're not talking like a new installment like Fallout 3 to Fallout
No,
4.
I'm talking about
the
that
same-
sensation of like you can't go home again with a particular game you've been really fond
You
of.
can't find the schoolhouse in Chatham.
The little red schoolhouse.
Oh, that's
No.
now painted white.
It's red.
And Lambeth.
This little prick went to the little red schoolhouse.
Yeah, and it's white now.
It's the little red schoolhouse, and they painted it white. Smack.
I've been. I was talking with Rob earlier about my Destiny experience, and we had a clan of guys who played it quite regularly, really, really tight knit group of guys. And then as stuff started coming out over the holiday season, and people started fragmenting off into these other groups, and we all kind of got away from playing Destiny. There's still some guys playing Destiny. There's some people who've come back there. There's some people who've kind of come and gone. But it's almost like I lament the fact that we can't kind of recapture that lightning in a bottle of that period of 3 months or so, where it's like we had all those great people playing the same game, and at any given time you could find three or
Sure.
five of them to do a raid with.
I think the best example was here maybe a year ago now when we tried to play GoldenEye and Perfect Dark with Jeff.
Oh yeah.
It's just not the same like it was in the era. It should be. The ingredients there, all the people, one room, split screen. Maybe it's because it's a novelty and we're approaching it like it's not like the hot new thing and nobody else can find it on the shelves. But I wonder if, if we were to plug in like WrestleMania 2000, if we'd be able to jump right back into like the fun and excitement of that game. I don't know.
Well, I think GoldenEye was a little different, whereas this style of game it can actually make you blind.
Now,
Yeah.
our low def eyes have now transitioned.
But, like-
our eyesight has evolved to needing HD only.
Well, but WrestleMania 2000 is like just a side-to-side thing, so you should be able to handle that. But GoldenEye, you're constantly moving forward, and you're just like, oh my god, I can't fucking see this anymore, like.
So do you think you can ever go home again with some of these games that you take a break from and you try to go back and revisit? Like,
Would you compare it to the movies that us three, grew up with as
See, it's hard when you talk about movies,
No, I hear that.
and I think you're the same, man, because you and I, at least, always continue to watch the same movies over and over again.
Yeah,
I never
but
take a break from the movies I love.
But there's some things like I know that you and I really like. Sorry. But there's a few movies like you and I really like Short Circuit, and if you watch Short Circuit now or something like Howard the Duck, it's very cheesy.
No, because and if I rewatch something from my youth that pulls me in because like I remember this movie, it was great. Maybe because I'm a filmmaker, I'll come back at it with something different. But I look at something super biasedly, like Masters of the Universe, and there's stuff in that I'll like really appreciate, especially with the extra knowledge that I've gained in the last 30 years about the conditions in which that film was made. Like, it's super fascinating that film finished to me, knowing all that I know.
I don't know, man, because I've definitely come back to TV shows or movies or even music that I used to really, really love, and it has not aged well with me.
Well,
Like,
I'm not saying
there are
everything that
definitely
I've
things I
gone
look
back
on
to has
differently.
aged well, but I'm saying I don't think that everything I return to is horrible. I think some stuff gets better, some stuff stays the same, and some stuff is... Michael Jackson, Dangerous. Used to love that record. Used to love it. Now it's like, why did I love Keep 'Em in the Closet?
Yeah.
You know, like, so there's some things that just strike you different because you've changed for whatever reason. Jam, here comes the man, hot damn. Big
what
man,
is
moving
something-
up again.
What's a piece of entertainment that for you, you've gone back and watched it or listened to it or played it, and it actually held up a lot better than you would have expected?
GamerCast, episode 1.
Michael Jackson Jam.
Like, actually.
GamerCast, episode
Oh.
1.
Okay, fine. Michael Jackson Jam.
With the Heavy D cameo part that I just sang.
I don't know what's in your mind.
For me, it was RoboCop.
Oh my god.
And Starship Troopers, and...
I remember we watched RoboCop. It was last year sometime, and I hadn't seen RoboCop in a really long time.
Ghostbusters still stands up.
Ghostbusters still stands up, but that never really surprised
That's
me.
different.
Back to the Future still stands
That's
up.
different.
But
That's
I remember-
different.
Jurassic Park still stands up.
But I remember watching.
Other than, it's a Unix system. I know this.
Hold on to your butts. I remember watching RoboCop last year, and I hadn't seen it in a really long time. And the whole time I was thinking, God, this is still a really good movie.
It's fantastic.
It still actually really holds up. And I think it's because it is so over the top, and the satire is such a heavy part of it.
But the satire is so relevant
It
today.
is, yeah. And that's
The commentary, like Total Recall, is so fitting to still what we're going through as a society.
It's true. And I remember being really, really shocked at how well that movie still holds up even after all this time. And that's not the case for me. I remember seeing Event Horizon for the first time in a long time. And that movie is just so 90s, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And that was a movie that was never really great to begin with. But it's like you see the credits and the Prodigy music kicks in and you're like, ugh. Ooh.
Well, that'll do it for the main section of the show. If you're a Patreon listener, you get to continue to listen to our shenanigans in person. You have 3 seconds to comply. It's live in person, Maculo here. Appreciate you listening into the special 2-year anniversary, more or less, edition of GamerCast. Is this going to be a little bit longer, you think, than most episodes?
I suspect it will.
Cool. So the free version will be a little bit longer. The Patreon version will be a little bit longer. Again, $1. Patreon.com/GamerCast. You get this and a little bit more. And we're marching towards 100 episodes of GamerCast. Maybe we'll start an artificial countdown. See what happens at episode 100.
What?
That blow your mind? Your
Yeah.
mind just explode a little bit right
Yeah,
now?
how is that possible?
How is it possible, indeed?
I
Just
pulled
think-
out this dirty table 100 times.
Pretty much. We've talked about the 85, 86 hours, but we've spent more time talking because, of course, some of that's edited down. What?
And that's not counting the, 2 episodes we've not chosen to post because they were
Yeah,
terrible.
the lost episodes, lost levels.
And we still haven't posted the post-Nintendo Quest episode.
I thought we did post that.
I don't think we did.
I don't
I thought
think
we shared that link.
I think we should do it again. I think we should do that again.
That's what the
I-
Twitch screening's about, though.
Yeah, I think we should do that again.
I think, if anything, we should comment on the Power Tour episodes.
You just want to watch them together and drink. You go,
No,
man,
I
remember when we did that?
Works for me.
I don't need that. I wouldn't need an excuse to hang out for a summer long with people in Vegas. I mean, 4 Days in Vegas coming to you soon. Patreon members will get a copy. They're probably going to get the streaming copy. Shipping was a lot of money for those Power Tour discs, I'm not going to lie.
Rob's like a dancer right now, hanging off the balcony.
Hey, give me $1. Put it between there. Use your imagination, kids. All right, so from myself, Rob McAlew, from my dear friend, Jay Bartlett, who's a game collector, close personal friend of GamerCast. Jay Bartlett, dear friend of mine, known him since the 16-bit era. You know, me myself personally, he's a good guy. Jay Bartlett.
He's not going to name names.
I don't want to name names. I want to protect the innocent.
Find them.
Like who?
And Glenn, chicken salad with a cucumber and a pickle sandwich. Stan Brushwich.
See you later, everybody. Thanks for coming by.
The sailor signs off.